Confetti, I'm assuming I know what type of club confetti would be.
No, but it was like an '80s. Oh God! Now you want to?
Of
Now I
course it
gotta
would be.
find it. Now I gotta find it.
Are you ready to confetti? Never in my life. Never. Never. Uh, all right.
What is happening? Da-da-ba-bow.
Ready? Here we go.
Hello,
Hello?
hello, what's up, bro?
Hey, it's the What's Up Bro podcast. We talk movies, sports, TV shows, pop culture, and it's funny, motherfuckers. With nary signs. I'm like, what? How can this... They have Photoshop. Photoshop exists when this artist rendition was done. How the fuck is this not cooler looking than a sketch that looks like it was done by a hillbilly off the side of the road? What the fuck are we talking? Why is this a thing?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Steph, Uni Mayor Sr.
Yeah, I don't have to look for you.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
And Mike Markadal.
I'm just glad I like vanilla, boring sex like this. I'm glad that the sex I enjoy won't get me killed.
That's how winning is done.
Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle, and this is What's Up, Bro.
Boom. And we're live. Welcome to the What's Up Bro podcast, or we're recording, depending on how you're listening to this or watching this. I am Neri Signs. With me, as usual, is Mike Kickstarter Mercadal. I don't know. I'm
What's
trying
up,
to remember
bro?
something.
Kickstarter.
Well, remember we
Interesting,
do the kick
interesting.
flicks. We do the kick flicks. And
Oh
so,
well, if we're going by Kickflix names, you're Nary Warhawks.
no, I'm not. I'm trying to change. I'm trying to change it just a bit.
Just
By the
enough.
way, Warhawk is not Kickflix. Warhawk was started at WuBro. Me and Stephanie were talking about how some people, when it comes to politics, some people are
the
like
Hawks. Yes.
the Warhawks. Like that guy's a Warhawk, and then depending on who's that's a good thing or a bad thing,
You're
depending
like,
on who
dope.
they're
Yeah,
voting.
cool.
Yeah, that sounds all right. Anyway, yeah, your favorite podcast where you come to watch and listen to people talk, debate, and argue over stuff. They have no idea what's happening. They don't know about it.
We don't know what's that.
We don't know.
I like how you say
know.
they like it's not us. Like these
Well-
random third partiers don't know what they're talking
Who
about.
they?
Who's they?
You know who them are. You know who them
Them.
are.
The others. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. How do I do? Come on, man. My camera setups are always glitching out. Whatever. This is what you get.
It's because you have 27 cameras, bro.
I am a streamer. All right. You commit to a personality, and then with ADHD hyperfixation, you make it your entire life for a little while until you get tired of it, and now
Until you
you're
get
like,
stressed out over the stuff that you put your own. Like this is all too much. Like, but you did that to yourself, though. You
Don't you
put
dare.
all that pressure.
Don't you dare point out my mistakes to me that I made for myself at my own expense. How dare
Oh
you.
my goodness. First of all, a couple things. We're not gonna get too into it now because we're gonna have an actual spoiler special. But did you watch the new Doctor Strange?
Yeah, you have to opening weekend, otherwise you like completely get everything spoiled for you. Like it was like a
So-
minefield.
So what I had to do, because I'm on a cruise ship, and the cruise ship gets off. Everybody gets off on Sunday, and then I have to get back on the same ship, right? Normally, that's called a back-to-back. Normally, for back-to-back cruisers, such as myself, it's literally they walk you down and they put you through immigration and they walk you back up. It's a 5-minute process, 10 minutes at most. But
You're like,
because I
"What's
wanted to
the
go see
worst
the
that could
movie,
happen?"
because I wanted to go see the movie, I was like, yeah, I'm not getting off with you guys. I'm gonna get off on my own. And because the cruise is out of Port Canaveral, the nearest movie theater in Cape Canaveral was showing the movie at earliest at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make it back in time because I have to be back on the ship by like 3 o'clock or 3:30 or something.
We're going back in time.
So then I had to find a movie theater in Melbourne that started at 11. So I got off the ship early. I went to go check out the Ubers to see how much the Uber was. It was, I thought it was a 21 minute ride. It turns out that it was a 21-mile ride.
Wait, do
And
we beat
that
the New York numbers?
hold on. So that no, nothing's gonna beat that. So actually
Damn
something already
straight,
did. Oh,
greatest city
no,
in the
actually
world.
no, something already beat the New York numbers for that, but I'll tell you that anyways.
Okay,
But
okay.
so it's $67 each way for Uber. And I was like, that's for a movie?
For a
And I was
movie,
like,
bro.
so then
Are you
I go
committed
to
or what?
I this is how committed I am. I checked out the budget rent a car and I found a rent a car for $60. And I rented a car. I rented a car
Yes.
at 8 o'clock in the morning, drove the 21 miles, went to Walmart because I had time to kill, went to Walmart, got a back massager, went to the movie theater, saw the movie, then came driving back to the ship, man. Dropped it off.
No.
They're like, you just rented this car this morning. I'm like, I know.
You're like, I'm done
I
with
just
it.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
done with
good.
it. You may want to give it a good clean.
You're like, it's like you're done with the car already? Yeah, she's gone. I mean, I'm done.
Yeah, it's fine. It was
Yeah,
I
why?
mean,
This
I
is no
paid
murders were committed. This is entirely
no.
reasonable for me to rent a car in the
No,
morning.
no devious sex acts were committed. No crimes of
Absolutely not. That's still one of the
nothing.
funniest outtakes or scenes in The Other Guys when they're talking about how they found his car. Have you ever seen the outtakes of that?
Yes, yeah. That whole movie is so underrated.
Yeah.
It's so underrated of how fucking funny that whole thing is. When he keeps talking about how gross his wife is and how ugly she is, and Mark Wahlberg is like, "What? What's going on here?"
No,
Like,
seriously, who is that?
yeah. It's like, are you friends or something? How did you what? Yeah,
So you
that whole
rented a
movie's
car.
fucking fucking. Rented a car, went to go watch it, came back. I'm not gonna talk about it now, the movie itself now, because again, we're gonna have a spoiler special. But
Yes, yeah.
just so the audience knows, that's how committed I was. Because if I didn't do that, then it'd be an entire week before I get home and be able to watch it. And I'm like, nah, man, I gotta spoilers
Yeah.
are
You-
plentiful.
There is so in the man, can we say things or no?
No, I don't want to talk about the movie. I'm talking about the stuff that I did to watch the movie. I'm not talking about the movie. We're moving on.
Well,
from the
what I'll
movie.
say is there was constant threat of ruining the movie through spoilers from a week before. Like
people
before it even
who
came out.
even Watkins, which is a friend of ours, his rants about people spoiling it are spoilers. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Him saying, I understand if people don't like I understand why people are not liking this movie. It is a very Sam Raimi movie. I'm like, shut the fuck, stop. The movie came out today. Why are you talking about this? Why are you telling me that people like it or don't like it? Or why are you giving me the opinion of the internet? You're already implanting the idea in my head that a lot of people don't like this movie. It's already a fucking spoiler. I'm like, oh God, Jesus, I gotta watch this movie.
That is a tough. Well, I will say, like, because it was. I'm glad I have like a text thread with some people about that sort of thing, because it was like, but at a certain point, even that text thread again, like telling someone there's a plot twist in the movie is a spoiler.
It's a plot twist. Yeah, that's a spoiler.
Anything, like even though you're trying not to be a spoilery, if you're
same
like,
thing as that's the same exact. Yep. That's the same thing as like a lot of people don't like this movie. Oh, now you're already fucking now you're already implanting ideas in my head. Yeah. Man, don't do that shit. Not the first weekend, opening weekend, you're gonna do that shit.
But
and I get that they're not trying to actively spoil, but it is a spoiler of some kind. It's
like talking too much about anything will spoil it. Like how like when you kill a joke where you just let it
I don't know. I don't know, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, I've heard tell of some legend of people who do that. What kind of monsters would do that? I don't know. But the idea of even like they were like, stay away from Twitter. It's a minefield of spoilers. And knowing what I know now, it was like I'm lucky that I because we've talked about how my algorithm is different than your algorithm, and I guess I follow some people who movie review people who in their YouTube thumbnails, going back to look at it, were like spoilery stuff in the thumbnail. Like you can't put a spoiler alert in the tweet and then post the picture that spoils it. You idiots. You know what I mean? Like it's spoiler alert, and then the picture posts
Yeah.
of something. It's like, what are you talking about?
People
Spoiler
do
alert.
that. People do that on Instagram, and the problem is that they go, spoiler, don't scroll unless you've seen the movie. The problem is that they're the way Instagram works is that sometimes the second picture in a slideshow is the first picture that one sees.
Yes.
And I'm like, you can't just be like, oh, but my first picture said spoiler alert. Yeah, but it fucking defaulted to your second picture, which was you guys are the fucking worst.
The worst.
There are a lot of times where even if I've already seen the movie and those profiles come up, I purposely won't like the post. Like I won't press like because I don't want the algorithm to keep coming up with those.
Right.
Like, no, this is your punishment. You don't get a like.
The one thing and then once I did see the movie, I genuinely I felt like I was stress-free social media browsing because it was genuinely like a relief. But I do think that there's people out there that all they have is like being caustic, not toxic, but caustic on the internet, where it's not they're not trying to fuck with you, but just like their baseline personality, like it's just modern. Like I guess that younger people don't have an awareness of how it all like how it was before, where you had to wait a year before that shit came out on VHS, and there was more time. But now it's like the day of, people are posting shit. Like, what? You didn't see it already? No.
Well, I saw this. I saw a clip of Wanda doing a shush thing, and it says no spoilers.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody post that on like Monday before the movie came out, and I was like,
yeah.
Already?
Yes.
We're posting,
and
then the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's probably a better idea.
Yeah. I will say that what was spoiled for me ended up not being true. So it was like, oh, okay. But the whole time I was watching, I was looking, I was like, all right, let's see how close these people got with their spoilers. And it ended up being wrong. It ended up being something else. But it was like I was thankful that the spoilers I saw were wrong. But
thank goodness.
Thank Papa Strange.
Thank the guy in the clouds.
I said Papa Strange.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you think Papa Smurf was a metaphor for God?
Papa Smurf is a cult leader. Did we not?
I
Papa
mean,
Smurf,
we're saying the same thing. You and I were asking the same questions here.
We're just circling around the same idea, is what it is.
Right. Different font. We're working on different.
Nice.
We're saying the same thing. So a couple things. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing.
Against my will, I've been made aware of everything against my, literally against my will. It has all been by accident.
It is. I'm the same way, and the thing is, I'm part of the problem because I'll then spread it. I'm like, oh, I didn't ask to know this. I didn't need to know this.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if I wanted to know this, but now that I do, I have to spread it. So here you go.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, I didn't ask for this, but let me spread it to somebody else who didn't ask for it. And
what you just sent something? Where was it? You sent something else. But like the one thing that I can't do is I refuse to have watched the live coverage of it. When it pops up on feeds. Give it to me in bite-sized increments. Otherwise, it's like the most infuriating thing. Because we all know where we stand on.
But I saw there was a piece where I was like, I thought they edited it to make it seem like to fit a narrative. And then I was like, I got to go see this specific clip. And it really does look like she's doing a line of coke, a bump of coke on the fucking stand.
It looks like she's doing a
bump,
like a nail bump or a key bump of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay. So this came out a couple days ago. So one of the things that happened, again, against my will, is that in social media, I saw this thread of people saying, "Did Amber Heard just do a bump of coke off the?" And then I don't know how true it is, but someone from in the comments, like deeper in the thread, was because of course I was reading the thread, like, did she do that? And he's like, I am a makeup and special effects makeup person in Hollywood and for movies, and what she did is a menthol something powder, like a menthol crystal of some kind that actors will snort to get tears. And
That's so much worse than coke.
it is.
That's so much worse
She could have
than
just
coke.
she could just
If she
do
would've-
bumps of blow, and it would have been like,
If
yeah,
you would have
I
said,
guess.
bro, if you would have said I need a bump just to get through this shit, I'd be like, all right, I get you, I feel you. Like that would have been so much more understandable. And like, I need a fake cry, so I need to pull tears out of me. Like, that's how bad of an actress you are. You can't even do fucking crying on your own. You need performance enhancing drugs to do a crying
Yes.
scene.
So this is on the thing. Actors use microscopic menthol crystals blown into their eyes from off camera or sniffed from it, whatever, to produce tears and cry on cue on camera when filming movies. This article even says not all actors use this or other substances to cry. Many can make themselves cry on command. I guess some people have trouble doing it naturally and have to resort to tricks like this.
You know what I feel like? This is what I feel like. So listening to this, not about Amber Heard, but listening to this,
in all fairness,
it's like
it could have been coke. So
It
this is just
please,
speculation.
God. Let's just hope.
But
it's
she
coke.
definitely did like a pose, like she was doing
Yes.
something with her hand, and then at one point
and
she like
she,
posed.
and she inhaled.
Yeah, she did, like if
She-
you've ever seen
she
okay,
did.
if you've ever seen anybody do coke, she did the coke moves, the inhaling as
All of
powder
them.
through the nose move.
So this whole thing, me just learning about the menthol thing to help actors cry on command, I equate this to the dude in Three Amigos learning about camera tricks. And he goes, "You were my favorite. You were the
Yes.
fastest gun." And then I learned about the camera tricks. And then he's like, "What? There's no camera tricks."
Those are camera tricks.
It's like, "No, yeah, no, there's camera tricks. You had to do that. You can't be that fast." He's like, "Yeah, no, what? I didn't use a stunt double, that type of shit." This is what I feel like. I'm listening to, finding out that there are some actors that use menthol to cry. I'm like, oh no, I found out about camera tricks.
Yeah, like
No.
well, it's true, and according to what Chiquita says, yes, cebolla onions is cheaper, but but like there's all like acting is just like pretending, but there's like being in character. Like there's a camera in your face, you call cut, and then you have to like reposition, and they're like, oh, if you've ever been on a set, you know, like it's. I would imagine, like with anybody, it's hard to fully kind of commit. There takes time, et cetera, et cetera. What's also happened with Amber Heard is some news people have released pictures from publicists or public relations people that photoshopped tears, and then when you look at the actual news coverage, there's no tears. So people are trying to make her more sympathetic, and I'm just like, or not, like just stop, you know, like
all of this is making it worse. It's like
so-
you're just making
you're
it
just
worse.
making yourself look so much worse. But yeah, learning about like the fake part of like when you're on set and you see like how unspectacular it all is. It's like it's very revealing. You're just like, oh, okay.
There's a kid that did a TikTok where he was acting out what Amber was describing, and it's like goes against the laws of physics.
Yeah.
He's like, so he pushed me out of the room, and then I turn and then he pushed me out. I walk out of the room. He pushed me. Then I turn around, and then now he's facing the inside of the door where
Right.
like it's like it doesn't match whatever. It's like, and then he shoved me down on the couch, and I was on the floor, and I was like, wait, what? Were you on the couch or on the floor? Like it's so he acted out all of her lines, what she said on trial, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's physically impossible. It's not like it's hilarious. It made me just make me laugh.
Man, I tend to like that's not. I think people are focusing on the wrong things when they do that because if you've learned on like if you've done any kind of like research on testimony and how fucked up like court testimony is actually manipulated and like the questions you're allowed to ask and the questions you're not allowed to ask and how you have to say things and how you can lead the witness and how like what the phrasing of you can't ask multiple things in one question, you have to ask separate questions, you know, like the way it's all structured, that will make anyone sound like a crazy person. But so I feel like when they do,
And when you ask a crazy person this, it makes them sound even crazier.
it makes it even crazy. Or all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that makes sense. It's like it doesn't work. The system's fucked up. But the part that I think that people are like, hey, why are we buying any of this? She's literally confessed to like abusing him. She's confessed to like the finger thing is like there's evidence now, the audio recordings, which some of them have been hilarious, but also like tragic. Like when you realize how much emotional damage is being created in this relationship, how fucking toxic it all is. And then to have like people talking about like, oh, and then he did this. And it's like, yeah, but there are pictures that show that you don't have those injuries. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're lying. Like, why can't like the people are focused on the wrong part of the lie? Like, don't focus on
Did
the
you see?
details. Big
Did you
picture.
see? Did you see? There was a interview. There was a TikTok where it showed an interview with her on a talk show, where she won the settlement, and she goes, "Yeah, I gave. It was 500. It was like $700 million or whatever." And she goes, "I gave $350 million to this organization for battered women, and I
Yeah.
gave $350 million, blah blah blah." So she gave. She claimed that to have given $500 million to each organization. They have the guy from the organization. And they go, "How much money did you get from his herd?" And he said 350,000.
And they were checks from Johnny Depp.
Johnny from Johnny Depp.
From Johnny Depp, where it's like, no, in her name, nothing. In her name, like $1,000.
Yeah,
In
it was
her
a
name,
it
like
was
gas
crazy.
money. You
Yeah, it
know,
was. I just laughed. I was like, "Oh man, this is all not looking well for her. It's just really bad."
she's an abuser. Well, that's the thing is that a lot of what's happening right now is not the language it's normally spoken in, like male female. It's the reverse. So a lot of this seems pretty like it seems it goes to like, go against type, right? Like for they're like, oh, and then Johnny Depp is she's the abuser and he's the abused. So anytime you have this kind of balance of like, and then he was acting crazy, and I was like, was it like technically self defense? Was it because that's a whole other conversation. And the problem is that hey, she admitted to it. I'm done with all of the like speculation. Is no. She said she did it. She said she hit
Yeah,
them. Yeah, on tape, and it's and she's that's her on tape. No one's doubting that it's her on tape. Yeah, and she's lied about this other thing. Oh, she's lied about this other. Yeah, she's a liar. She's an abuser. She's a fucking piece of shit. So it's like, all right, let's not forget the big picture when we were making fun of all the little goofy shit. Like people keep saying like Aquaman from the fucking recording of the. You ever heard that?
no.
Fuck, I gotta find it. Good
What are you
luck.
talking
Fuck.
about?
Where there's like audio recording of Amber Heard complaining about something, and in the back about Aquaman, about something about money, and then in the background you hear Johnny Depp go Aquaman, like that. Fuck, now I gotta find it.
No, don't know what you're talking about. Sounds interesting though, but no.
Whatever. Again, I know all of this shit against my will. Like I've learned all of this incidentally from like the fact that everyone on social media is capitalizing on this terrible personal situation. Like imagine like if the roles were reversed and a woman was having to drag out all of the abuse that they suffered, it would be it's like it feels icky. It feels bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I got nothing for it because I was like, it does feel bad. It feels, and I think that's why people are commenting more on the goofy shit because it's
Mhm.
like, I mean, the real shit is really sad and tragic and fucking. So let's point out the goofy shit that's like crazy and absurd. That's why her shitting on his bed would never go away.
Yeah, like, and that is like proven, like, I guess, and it's true. It's true. Basically, the double standard of like, how is she still in Aquaman? Oh, we're cutting her role down to 10. No. Come on.
I'm still trying to find. I haven't found the link to sign the petition, but I'm like, I'm down to sign that petition, and I can't find it. But I haven't really looked for it. But the articles I find don't have it, so there goes that. There's my level of interest. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it is all right.
Well, whatever. I don't want to be distracted looking for.
Yeah, I thought by the way, I thought the NFL schedule came out today. It turns out I just looked it up. It turns out it comes out tomorrow. It's released tomorrow.
Which if we do talk about sports and the NFL and this stuff, did you go does anybody care about the Formula One race that happened in Miami? That was like a big international
A lot of
deal.
people in Miami gave a fuck. That was like all my friends who've never. Like I'm part of like 7 group threads, and I'm like, you guys have never talked about fucking Formula One in your lives. What is this? All of a sudden now you know everything. You know every driver. What the fuck is going on here?
That is the most Miami thing I've ever heard. Suddenly
so
there's like
true.
a new thing to obsess over, and if you're like, I want to be the one that talks shit about it the most, so that I was into it before you found out about it. Blah, 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 blah,
and don't get me wrong, I have friends who are into cars, who've always been into cars, but they've never talked about Formula One. They've never talked about so and so Fulano de Tal racer from Europe. They've never fucking said anything, and I've known them for 20 plus years. So it's not like I just met them. It's not like like in 20 years you've never mentioned Formula One ever.
You've never said the words Max Verstappen in your life.
Yeah. You've mentioned Nas, and you mentioned street racing, and you mentioned the cool cars that you like that, but you've never mentioned Formula One. And I get it. I'm all for people who are like, hey, it's a new event.
Yeah.
It's the new event. Let's talk about the event. That's fine. But don't come to me with now your knowledge of Formula One racing where I'm like, the fuck is I had zero comment. Like it was one of those very few times in a group thread that I read it and then go, nope. Have no comment.
Yeah, not for me.
Because usually when I don't have a comment, it's because I didn't see it in time. Oh, I didn't see that comment. I didn't see what you guys were talking about. I was busy doing other shit. But I literally would watch them talk about the shit, and I would have to Google. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm moving on. I don't care.
I am new to. I fully admit that I am new to it only because I just started watching or finished watching the Drive to Survive, the Formula One show, reality show on Netflix, where they follow the drivers around and they condense it all into like easily digestible, understandable shit. Because there's a lot to unpack. I don't know half the stuff that's going on.
Hold on. Can you see me shaking? Am I shaking right now?
A little bit. What is that?
The fucking ship is starting up its engines, and I'm like fucking. I feel like this, and I know I'm fucking trembling. And it's simmered down now from when I first raised my hand, because right when I was raising my hand, it was fucking just, and I'm just like, oh man, and in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if they can see this on camera, and so I had to ask, but I was like, it's just hilarious to me.
So the vibration, the vibrations. How much time do we have until you come?
About 36 seconds ago.
Yeah. Why do you think I raised my hand?
Yeah, I was like, I'll go get you a towel. Rookie says, makes you wonder how hot does someone have to be that when they shit in your bed, you think, I'll give her another chance. Last week we talked about it with Stephanie Mayer Sr. Stephanie Mayer Sr.'s brother had a girl that peed on his bed, like morning pee too. It was like she made it clear. She told the story. And she told the story about the girl, like she thought that her brother cheated on her. And it turns out he didn't.
Okay.
And then she peed on his bed. And he took her back. He didn't end it right then and there.
So
Mike's mind just broke. Like, what?
Well, no, because this is two very different scenarios. So she didn't just like, I was asleep and I peed the bed. She Amber Hearded the pee into the okay. Fuck.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. And that's pee. I think that's worse than poop. I got to be honest. Pee gets soaked in. Pee gets soaked in.
I was going to disagree with you, but now I don't know.
Pee
you're
gets
right.
soaked in. Poop, you could just scoop it up, and you clean that one little spot. Pee gets soaked in. If you don't
a solid poop is hot is the best case scenario.
Yeah, best case scenario.
Then pee, but what about a wet poop?
No, then you just throw away the house.
Yeah. Burn the house down.
Burn the house down. You're done. I can't live in this fucking place anymore. I'm fucking done.
It's like this is my ex-wife. We went through some rough times together. It's like she diarrheaed on your bed. I was like, we don't live there anymore, so.
Ricky says, "Oh my god, I can't wait for the episode to come out in 6 weeks so I can hear it."
Oh man,
solid. Yeah, solid. I got no lies detected, man. No lies detected. You're gonna be like, "Oh wow." We're gonna be like starting the NFL season. You'll be like, the schedule comes out today? Like the schedule?
We're 3 games into the season. What happened?
The fuck? What year is this?
Oh my god.
I put out 3 episodes last week.
We've been cranking away. We had some things
I've been chipping. I've been chipping away at. So I still got more. I forget what number we're at now, but as far as the audio version, if you're listening to the audio version of this, just know, like Rookie pointed out, you could have heard this 6 weeks ago if you would have just gone to our Facebook or YouTube.
6 weeks.
No, it's not. It was at one point. It was kind of bad, but I've caught up. And I posted episode 357 last week. Was the last episode I posted, and we're at 362. And then I'll be honest, I don't see myself posting any this week, only because the Wi-Fi is really bad on the ships.
Yeah.
So next week when I get home, I'll post 358, 359, and 360 before the end of next Friday.
All the WuBro you can handle.
Right? It's like, whoa, it's gonna be called Whoa, Bro. Take it easy.
Whoa, bro. Whoa. How's the ships, by the way? Is it like nothing happened? Like people have.
The no mask thing just started 2 weeks ago for the first time, and it's only guests. And by no mask, I mean mask optional, which means no mask.
No mask.
There's like, and they're back to full capacity, but that just started 2 weeks ago, because prior to that, I've been back on cruise ships since September, and it's been half capacity, a third capacity. Stuff like that, and it's always been like mask on in public areas. You can't do this, you can't do that. And now the crew is still wearing masks. The crew is still wearing masks.
That makes sense.
But not the guests. And I'm like, okay.
I saw you with your shirt off playing basketball, my friend. Congratulations.
That was the first time I had played basketball in almost, I want to say, close to 10 years. It's probably been like 8 or 9 years. I don't. And I remember going like,
is there someone keeping you from playing basketball, or you just didn't
yeah, it was called fat.
Fat.
It's called fat.
Fat people could. I don't like the impression that you're giving that fat people. You didn't do it.
No, I played basketball. I played basketball my entire life. Even at my when I was, all through high school, even like the 4 years after high school, which most people will call college years, but I did not go to college. So those 4 or 5 years after college, I was still playing basketball like regularly, pretty consistently, like 2, 3, 4 times a week.
No. Is it me or him? Chat, tell me he froze. All right, now that it's quiet, here are all the Doctor Strange spoilers that I can say in 60 seconds. Okay. I genuinely don't know if it's me. Doctor Strange, it is revealed that Darth Vader is Doctor Strange's father.
Right. So yeah, and Rookie, I like the fact that Rookie put he froze. Yeah, Rookie, we get it.
I've been talking this whole time.
He froze. So for the last 10 years,
you froze, and I was asking. I was like, is it me or him?
No, it's me. It's me. Let's just assume it's me. Okay, let's just assume.
Both vibrations are getting to you.
Do you see them now?
Yes.
Oh, the ship is starting to move.
It's amazing.
This is what I wake up to. This is what I have to go through, because every time the ship docks, I go through this shit of trembling of stuff that But you know what it is, right? You know what this trembling is? It's the anchor going up.
For real? Like that's what's causing the
Yes.
vibration? Where in
Yes,
the ship is
it's
your cabin?
my
Are you
cabin is all the way forward, all the way forward, and I mean
like in
all the way
Piquito? You're the
forward.
king of the world.
Right, all the way forward. Like I'm looking down at the Piquito. I'm like, oh look, the Piquito's right there. I'm
Oh
looking.
shit.
That's where I'm. Like I'm there, um, and
You've
I'm
never
high.
told stories about how if you've gone through like a rogue wave or crazy weather or anything like that. Has that ever happened to you?
One, I have never gone through any of that. Well, I've gone through
Really?
crazy weather. I've gone through crazy weather. I will say that. But two, I like to kind of keep my job and not kind of like disparage the company and be like, no. But I've been in
But
really bad weather. Yeah,
the Lord is the one that's disparaging your company by
I
throwing waves at giant ships.
so I was working on a different cruise line than I'm working now, and I'm not just saying that. This is a true story. I was working on a different cruise line, and they have their entertainers in the crew cabins, which is all the way. Like I used to
On the
make the
bottom,
joke that I
right?
was like, I have to go around the people shoveling coal into the engines in order to get to my cabin. Like that was the
Right,
joke
right.
I used to make, but it was really all the way down there. And there was one time where those cabins have zero windows. There's no like I have a window right now. I could see outside. That's why I know that we're moving
The
because I can see the
Piquito.
light.
Yeah.
Right, and so there's no there were no lights. Everything's completely dark. I'm taking a nap in the middle of the afternoon, which, by the way, taking a nap in a windowless room is pretty awesome. Like, not for nothing, but
Oh,
you don't know what time of
yes.
day it is. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But I'm asleep and I get woken up by a loud bang, like boom. And I turn on the light. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I turn on the light and my TV fell. And my TV wasn't drilled into the wall or nothing, but it was on it was on, one of
Sure.
those
On a
stands.
thing.
It was and it fucking fell over. And then I come to find out that that was when New York was having a hurricane, and I was sailing out of Baltimore. And I found out later on, that if we would have, because if the ship would have just hugged the shoreline all the way down, because we were going south from Baltimore, we were sailing to the Caribbean.
Right.
If we would have just hugged the shoreline, we would have been fine, or at least a lot better. But in this guy, the captain, they decided to go out to then go down,
And they got caught
and
in
it
the
got
hurricane.
no, it didn't get caught in the hurricane. It just, the
Flip. Sure,
fucking
yeah.
get the weather,
It's all
whatever.
connected. We're all meteorologists
But
here. We know.
but the reason why they did that, here's the reason, right? And again, this is a different cruise line than the one I'm working now. I'm just saying
we
these are
get it.
these are
Save
what
your
happens now.
job.
But the reason they did that is because they wanted to open the shops on the cruise ship, and they can't legally open the shops until they are 3 miles outside of the U.S. For immigration
Wow.
purposes, for tax purposes. They cannot
For the duty free.
open. So they got to be duty free. So they got to be 3 miles out of the shore. And so they were like, let's go 3 miles out and then down. If they would have just hugged the shoreline, it would have been fine, but they wouldn't have made any money. So here's the here's the kicker.
Interesting.
There was so much property that was broken because in all the shops, everything fell. Bottles of perfume, like all this
Right,
stuff
yeah.
there.
All of the stuff that they sell is like it's like bottles
Right.
of liquid.
So it's just like all of this thing fell and broke, and so I'm like, so you guys ended up losing money. Like it's just comes around to bite you. But I didn't know any of that until afterwards, because I was in my cabin trying to take a nap, and I just woke up because my TV fell, and that was pretty bad fucking weather.
We were the only time I had bad weather on a cruise. It was like God, I want to say I don't know which one it was. No, mentira. It was Carnival.
Of course it was.
They had that goofy guy, someone dressed up in a carnival
Mhm.
outfit with the head.
Freddie. His name
What?
is Freddie.
Is this Freddie?
Yeah.
Is that the guy
Freddie
in the costume
Funship.
that you're friends with?
No, it's Freddie Funship. That's his fucking. That's
Oh,
the
shit.
character's name.
Oh man, that's so funny. You know that guy. But it got to the point where
Again, I know that against my will.
yeah. The boat was like it was so choppy. The water, it wasn't even that. It was very windy. It wasn't even stormy. It was just like really strong winds.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the boat was
yeah.
doing one of these. It was like where you were walking down the hallway and you were kind of like, ugh. And genuinely, people were getting like I was getting seasick. I'm pretty
Yeah.
good usually, but I was getting like genuinely ill. That they had to in the middle of the evening, like it was already like nighttime late. It was like 9 or 10 o'clock. They opened the pool. upstairs. They put water back in the pool because if you jump in the water, the seasickness goes away because you're now just floating in equilibrium. You're not moving around. So your body, your ears, your whatever can reset. And it just started like it was like, well, I guess we're having a pool party, and it was just like a bunch of nauseous drunk like it was just such a weird like a weird collection of people who were throwing up for two different reasons.
Well, so I'll tell you two stories. One, I was on a ship.
I'm sorry. The point of that was that at one point the ship was like just kind of tilted the whole time because the wind was hitting it from the side. That the water in the pool was like sloshing out and over, and we were like, "Hey, this is dangerous."
So I have been. So there was one time, like I want to say a couple of years ago, it was a smaller ship. By small, I don't mean tiny, but I do mean not like I'm literally on like the second or third largest cruise ship in the world right now is what I'm on right now. So it was a smaller ship than this, and I was at the show doing a show, and you see the curtains moving, like you just see the curtains do this in the background. And I'm doing a show, I'm doing my act, blah blah blah, blah, and I see people leave, like running out, not like, man, this fucking show's like running, and they went to go throw up, and people did not make it. They were like it got really bad because they got, and it's funny because in my mind I was like, you know, any other comic, if you go, man, people were leaving the show throwing up, you would take that, you know, you would like take that some kind of way and be like, oh no, my act sucks that bad. And I just like, it had nothing to do with me. Like I'm fully aware, but it made me laugh at the fact that it was like most other comics would be like, my act was so bad that people were running out of there throwing up. It was fucking, it was, yeah.
What's wrong? That guy sucks.
He's joke about cupcakes. Jesus.
It's like, at least it wasn't a commentary on your appearance where it's like, oh, that guy's so fucking ugly. It's like, at least it wasn't about my jokes.
But I have a joke about the moving side to side thing, because there are some people, some cruise lines and some cruise ships who are like, don't mention that it's choppy, or don't mention that it's. I'm like, what? Don't mention it. What are you talking about? So I tell the story of this one time. The guy goes like, oh, don't mention the fact that it's choppy. I'm like, why not? Like, oh, we don't want to bring it to their attention, which is a real statement that was told to me. And this is all in the act, but I'm like, it's a physical trait. It's a physical thing. Like you think, and I was like, was there anybody in here who was wondering? Like, yeah, I was wondering why my shoulders were bruised from bouncing in between the hallways, but I didn't realize it until the fat comedian said it. Now I can make sense. Like, no, we all feel it. We know.
Someone pulls you aside and be like, Neri, do you know what gaslighting is? Because we need you to do that real hard right now. What? No, you're not feeling anything.
Everything's fine, buddy. Fine. Everything's. If you're feeling bad, this is you. Not. I'm like, all right. But I just thought, but no, I've never been on a rogue wave. The only thing I know about rogue waves is from Poseidon, right? That's the one that flips over the ship.
Oh shit! I don't remember that movie. I remember. Is that the one? Oh god, where the boat? There was two. Over?
The boat is upside down. The ship is upside. First of all, it's a ship.
Is a ship a kind of boat as well? Because both can be right.
Nope. You're not. Boat is how your family got here. Ship is what I'm on right now. There's a difference. Like definition wise, I'm not even, but there's like actual thing. I'm just saying people in the cruise ship industry get really fucking testy about that. I do it fucking around like it's a ship, not a boat, but people get really fucking touchy about that shit.
Oh, you're right. Size does matter.
Yeah, every woman I've ever dated said the same thing.
I was just trying to man, but yeah, I guess it does matter. I wonder at what point does a boat become a ship?
That I have no idea.
I have no idea. I literally was just trying to like look up.
I know you were doing. I was like,
no. I was just literally trying to look up the title of the video so we can make sure to reference everything that's in this video. And then I saw my memories popped up, and I had a. It's the one where the girl said we weren't financially compatible. Whatever. I just reminded me of that. I thought that was very funny. She's like, hey.
I don't remember that one. I don't remember
You don't remember that one? That was funny.
No. She said you're not financially compatible?
Yeah, we had a conversation where she was like, she likes to she doesn't know that if I make enough money, because for us to share experiences, because she likes to go out on a weekend and spend like I ended up writing a bit about it where it's like where she likes going out and spending like she'll drop a G in a night at a bar at a club,
Oh yeah,
and I'm
no.
like,
You are an
now
awful human
I
being.
don't think we're fun. I don't think we're like reality compatible because
Yeah, I don't think we are like personality compatible.
yeah, I don't know how me personally, even when I did drink, I don't know how I would spend $1,000 at a bar. I get if you go VIP.
How do
that's
you do that as a woman? Don't you get free drinks from
Yes!
fucking other dudes?
And
Like, what is that?
in my like the bit that came out, it's like, yeah, I've never gone up to a bar and been like, yeah, let me get 2 scotch and sodas. Oh, you got some iPads back there? Let me get an iPad while you're there. Let me. How much is that? 1,000 a G? A G? That sounds good. Nailed it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me get.
God,
let
that's
me,
awful.
Let me get 2 gin and tonics and a MacBook. But the idea being that she was like, on 2 separate, like, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're not compatible. I'll see you later. And she kept messaging me throughout the weekend of like, yeah, I just don't think. And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. We
You can
agreed.
go away now.
We agreed.
We agreed. You're right. And then it was because it was like one of those things where like it was just like very funny that she was just like torn. I'm like, hey, you don't have to have this conversation with me.
Yeah.
Have this conversation with yourself, and then if I'm still involved in the equation, talk to me after. But don't come constantly be weighing out whether or not I'm worth the money worth the time.
It's like when you were dating a girl that was too big for you. You were like, listen, let me explain to you why. You're like, no, we get it. We get it. You don't have to keep
it. So rude. So rude.
Rookie says Neri's funny voice and his pedantic voice are exactly the same in regards to boats versus ships.
I'm just being funny. Pedantic.
Yeah. Well, also, I was right though, right? I mean, yeah, Rookie, you didn't mention the fact that I was right. I mean, fucking Mike pulled up a definition and I was still right. Like, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to be funny, but also it's the same thing.
I love how you changed the names on the fly.
Well, I have to. We can't pre-name this fucking episode. It doesn't work that way.
Where's the post? Why can't I see the title of the thing? What does it say? Amber Snorts, we talked about that. Takes the stage. NFL schedule drops, and I can't see what the other thing is.
I don't think there was a third one. I think I fucking lost out on the third one. Oh no. So apparently A.Rod is getting a lot of shit. I got this from Artica. A.Rod is getting a lot of shit because he's driving around. I believe it's either a Ferrari, I think it is. If I'm not mistaken, that he gifted to JLo when they were dating. And now he's driving around and there's pictures of him with his new girlfriend, driving his new girlfriend around in that car that he at one point had gifted JLo. So how he got it back, whether she voluntarily gave it back to him or he asked for it back, that's not known. What is known is that he has it back. And Martika, I wish she was on here. I sent her an invite, but she's working. Was like posted a TikTok of like, how petty are men? Blah blah blah. Why don't you just sell the car? And I'm like, no, he bought the fucking car. What is he not gonna?
It still functions as a car.
Yeah. What the
it's
fuck?
It's also a nice car. Like that's a collectible car. Like
yeah. Also, and I wanted to call her out because she was on here. I wish she would have been on here again. I sent her the invite because she was this is the same person who, when we talked about Ben Affleck keeping the watch that J-Lo gave him 10 years ago for his birthday, oh, that's romantic. He kept the watch the whole time.
But keeping the car? I have a
but
feeling.
Keeping a fucking car?
Yeah, this is a Schrodinger's douchebag situation. It all depends on whether or not the person observing likes the person. The person.
This is very much like, is it romantic or is it stalker behavior? There's a thin line between stalker behavior and romantic behavior.
The
say anything, the John Cusack say anything with the fucking boombox over his head, super romantic.
Or
if the girl likes him, if the girl doesn't like him and I said, I told you already 3 times to leave me, and you come to my house to fucking play music, that's super creepy.
Is he the star of the movie or the villain? Because then that could go either way. Right. Literally depending on how it is.
Well, the villain of that movie is the dad. Jesus Christ, what a awful human being that fucking guy was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, there
I
was
haven't
money
seen
laundering. There was money laundering. And he ended up being jailed. The father was played by Fraser's dad. That movie is not a
Oh.
comedy. It's not a romantic comedy. It's not a date movie. It's not that Say Anything is not. People think about it because of that one scene in the boombox, but I'm like, if you watch the whole movie, I'm like, this is a drama and a dark one at that. This is fucking like she
Now I
tries to
want to
commit
see it
suicide at
again.
one point. She tries to commit suicide at one point. It was
Yes.
fucking crazy. I'm like,
Yes.
this isn't what's the
Now I
other
wanna
one that
see it
he
again.
did? What's the other one he did with my $2? What the fuck? I forgot that one.
Oh, Better Off Dead?
Better Off Dead. So Better Off Dead and Say Anything came out very close to each other.
Sure.
But I think people remember the boombox scene as a romantic scene, so they clump it in with Better Off. They clump it in with a romantic comedy. I'm like, this is not a. It's a fucking dark drama.
I will say that is kind of a universal experience where like I talk about it a lot with my when my dad came to visit me in New York, right? Like my dad is a very
For some reason the D you like when my and I thought you were gonna say my dick. I was like, what is he gonna say? My dick or my dad? Okay, that
when
makes
my
sense.
dick visited New York for the first time, it decided I must live here, and then I just have to follow whatever my dick says.
Yeah,
You know how that is.
slave to the dick, man.
slave
Slave
to
to
the
the dick.
dick.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Depending on who says it, that could mean two different things. A brilliant segue into my dad was visiting in New York. My dad and my stepmom, and I had to like warn him. I was like, "Hey, don't like talk to people."
Yeah.
like because if you're like in line at a counter getting some food, or you're getting something from a cart, or the grocery store, the bodega, whatever, there is an idea. There's like the idea of politeness is get in, get out of everybody's way. If you get in there and you start like a conversation while still being in the place of where the transaction is happening, and you're preventing somebody from having anything you do that is polite in other circumstances, like back in Tennessee, it's polite for him to have, hey, how's it going? How's your day going here? Oh, whatever, would be viewed as impolite here. Like, hey, get the fuck out of here. You're holding up the line. You know, that kind of perceived, it's all about perspective. That translates 100% to romantic gestures. If you think that's why all of these friend zone guys think that I'm in love and all I have to do is confess my love and all that shit. It's like, no, like that's how you see it, but that's might not be how they see it, and that's literally how like, again, it's all about perspective. So if this guy is driving around a Ferrari that he bought for a woman that left him, and he had the opportunity to get it back, fuck yeah, you driving that car around. Absolutely. Yeah. Who cares what other people think? Like, yeah. Think whatever you want, man. I'm in my car with my new girlfriend. Like, I've moved on.
Yeah, it's again, it's a car. Like, it's ridiculous, and people are upset. People are like, "Can you believe how petty this guy is?" And it wasn't just Martika. There was a lot of people in the comments where I was just like, what's he supposed to do, people? What's like?" And people really were suggesting he should have just sold it. Why? He bought the fucking car, and it's also a good car. It's a good looking. Like, I don't.
It's a fucking Ferrari, man.
Chiquita says, for them celebrities, keeping a Ferrari is like keeping your ex's old T-shirt. I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, man, whatever. Yolanda says, you told me it's, quote, not as bad as you think.
No, I'm of course exaggerating
and she was
this.
Scared in the subway is what she says.
You should be. Yes,
yeah.
The subway is scary. No, but
I was scared about the subway because I kept dozing off the rocking, and I was like, I don't want to doze off and be that guy that wakes up without shoes. Like what happened? I got fucking robbed because I fell asleep.
Yeah, Chiquita jokes around about that all the time, that she gets a nap in on the way to work, and I'm like, yeah, that's some true New York shit. Like, to just be like, not give. And she says that she's thankful for masks, because then she has the mask on so she could be like, and they can't see her like mouth open. But when I used to have to commute into the city every day, it was genuinely like, you put your head back and you're like, every time you feel the train stop a little bit, you think you missed your stop because you have no idea how long you were actually asleep. You just be like, "Gah,
You know what I
and
was
then-
afraid of? And I'm sure this is
like,
been a
oh
scene
shit,
in a
I'm in
movie.
Coney Island. Damn.
I'm sure this has been a scene in a movie, or I'm sure it has. But this is what in my time in New York, every time I like close my eyes, you know, when you close your eyes, it could literally be for 3 seconds, but it
Yeah.
felt like, was that 5 minutes?
Yes.
Was that 15 minutes? What's going on?
What's happening?
And my fear was of like looking over, like closing my eyes, opening them, and then seeing like a group of guys just get closer with every fucking eye closed. Like if that was my fear. It's like and then like they're just da 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 like that, like a slow mo, like
those
a
videos
stop
you see-
action, like
Yeah.
a stop motion fucking video, like that.
Like those
What?
videos you
What's
see
going
of
on?
people taking of their cats where they peer around a corner and the cat's there and they stops and then they come back and then the cat's closer and you're like, oh shit. Like that,
That's
but youths.
But that was my fear of like fucking a bunch of young kids, like, and I'm just like, did they get closer? Did they get closer? What's going on? And then
How many
soon, and
benches
then
were
I
there
wake,
between us?
and then wake up and like pop, 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 and then they just fucking punching me in the face, like, oh shit.
Yolanda, tell me what was scary? Like it's specifically, like what did you find scary? Was it just the sheer volume of people in that you're not used to just being like to all that action at anybody? Somebody could be freaking out as a homeless person, or was it what was it that you were most like that you could pinpoint? Because for Chiquita, she's a woman coming on the train by herself. She's coming all the way out to where I live, and you know how long that train ride is. She feels
It's
much
about
more
two naps. It's about 2 naps.
It's about 2 naps worth. She feels more comfortable when there's people around, witnesses and whatnot.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking
right.
about? So it's like
right.
it's interesting. Like it's all about perspective.
Perspective, right? You know, it's funny because she's like, I'm a woman and I want people around to be witnesses. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm a dude. I'm still gonna get my ass whooped the same as you. Like I'm not a professional fighter. I'm not. You know what I mean? Like it's not. To me, it's
You're
the
less
same
of
thing.
a target, I would say, than
I hope so, but I don't like. Here's the thing: if somebody did target me, I'm not much more of a better fighter than Chiquita.
Yeah, I think Chiquita's got you though. I think
Yeah,
Chiquita
I'm
can
like,
take you.
I'm not. I gotta be honest with you. If I'm like, if they knew, like, if there was a rating system, you know how, like, remember when you get the comic book cards, trading cards, and it'd
Yes,
be
the
like
power levels.
yeah, the strength and fighting ability. If you were able to fucking look at people and be like Chiquita and Neri and be like, oh, Chiquita's smaller, but her fight level is through the roof, and Neri's, oh, we gotta pick on this motherfucker. Like, if they knew, if they could read my power levels, they would be like, yeah, Neri's we should definitely fuck with Neri. Like, I'm not that. I mean, Yolanda says, the homeless and the pee smell.
And
Right.
yes, yes, okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, the smell is. Would you classify a smell as scary?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's called
okay.
New Orleans. The homeless and pee smell. 2 people almost got into a fight because one thought the other one was bumping into her.
Which
Yeah.
time? That sounds.
And
Yeah, that's like every day.
That's how she met Chiquita.
Yep, her and Chiquita. That's how they met. Surprise, Yolanda. That was actually her the whole time that she.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? She's like, oh my God, I was in a subway for the first time and there was 2 women about to fight. And then Chiquita walks in and she's like, hey, nice to meet you. And you're like, you're the woman. You're the one.
That's
hilarious.
you.
Hey, do we have a
I had
Am I the asshole?
stuff saved.
Oh no, the one that you sent was great. That one, it was a short one.
Yeah, it was really short.
It was really short. That's the one I need right now because I need to get back to work.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. This is actually from a relation. It's a relationship advice question, but it is very specific. The title is "He Tricked Me." My 18 female. So this woman is 18 years old. Boyfriend 29 male.
Already creepy.
Already interesting vibe. Said he was into BDSM. Already weird. So he'd have me doing burpees, planking, wall sits, and push-ups with him on my back sometimes. I was
That's
into
a
it.
hefty girl.
Yeah, that's a strong woman. I was into it.
Also, this is also Chiquita.
This is Chiquita, yeah.
This
This
my ass.
is an illusion for me to just talk about our personal life. My 18 female,
Right,
29
right.
male. I was into it. And he said he loves watching girls get pushed to their physical and mental limits when they submit to him. Then, after a few months of this, he admitted he was just trying to get me in better shape because he didn't like having sex with me as much before at my old weight. Should I be offended? I mean, yeah, but what a roundabout way.
Here's the thing, right? Everybody says, for example, Joe Jackson, awful fucking, like the way he treated those kids and the way he was militant and the way he forced them to practice when they didn't want to practice, and they never had a social life growing up. They didn't have a childhood. I'm like, yeah, but without that, we don't have the Jackson 5. You understand?
No, still
like
bad.
that's
Still terrible.
like, yeah, but the outcome is like,
I'm sure they would
she got in good shape. I'm not saying that did it the right way, but and she got into it. She's into it now.
Right. Okay, so that's the thing. She liked it the whole time. I just want to find it so I can read the comments. That like someone put yes ... question mark. It's kind of effed up. I feel like he should have been honest with you, and at 30 years old, mature enough to have a conversation.
Madam, he's 29.
He's 29, and a 29-year-old dating an 18-year-old should say enough about his maturity level to indicate that he cannot have this conversation.
He's 29 and he's a gym bro. Come on, man.
That's really fucked up. Do not continue dating this person. Fair. Good. 1, yes, you should be offended, and it's the least you should be. He spent months manipulating and lying to you, and then he had the audacity to say that he was doing it because he didn't find you attractive enough to stop.
But she's running the marathon next month, so I mean,
no, it's terrible. Why?
Yolanda's mad. Yolanda's mad at me right now. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Number 2, your body, your decision. He violated your right to make decisions about your body because he claimed it was BDSM. I mean, it's kind of...
It is.
Sadism, bondage.
Masochist.
What is it? Bondage, submission. It is actually all
bondage,
of those
submission.
things.
Yeah, all of those things. You got to use straps to put on the weights. You got to do fucking,
I mean, it is kind of all of those things in a weird CrossFit way, but I guess...
you watching me fucking flip over a giant tire and you getting off on that is masochistic.
It's pretty. I mean, no, sadistic. Sadistic is the one where other people. Yolanda, damn straight and narrow. She is big mad.
I'm just saying she got.
But it is not BDSM because of this point. I forgot. BDSM is heavily about consent, and he didn't bother to get your informed consent before engaging.
But he did get a consent from her.
But I don't think that's a tricky one. Like a lie of omission is still a lie, kind of.
Question mark?
Question mark. And then number 3, this is the part that I feel like it isn't getting enough attention. You're 18. Why the hell is a 29-year-old man dating an 18-year-old other than to manipulate and gaslight you into his liking? I have taken offense to how much people use gaslighting because this is not gaslighting.
No.
This is something else. This is manipulation for sure, lying for sure. No decent 29-year-old is dating an 18-year-old. He's dating you because you're young enough. He can mold you into who. Yeah, it's a control thing for sure.
Yeah. Which is also part of BDSM.
Yeah, I'm into BDSM. Bench, deadlift, squats, and military press. Fuck.
You know what? You know what? Maybe we're the assholes. I think we're the assholes.
We are 100%. So here's the thing. We are inherently commenting on other people's lives and judging them and all that stuff. Inherently, there's some assholery involved in every episode of WuBro, and we should not deny it because yes, we try to do assholery with a source of the heart of gold.
Yes.
But ultimately, this poor woman is dealing with this stuff. It
I
does.
mean, again, she got in shape though. She's like
It's all
getting
about
in shape.
perspective, baby. All about
So,
perspective.
I mean, I think the way he went about it was, first of all, they should not be dating because she's 18 and he's 29. Stop it. They should not be dating. That's fucking creepy, dude. I would not. I'm telling you, I talked about this with Steph last week, where I don't even like the porn, like the barely legal porn. I don't like any of that shit. I'm like, ew, I don't want that. And Rookie talked about it last week. He was like, Neri likes the extremely legal. Like, yeah, extremely legal. I want I want to watch you. The only way I want to watch you in porn is if you have a daughter that's barely legal. I don't want to watch your daughter. I just want to make sure that's the age group I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for fucking 35 through 40. That's my age group in porn. In my fantasies, I'm like, I want to see a 35-year-old. I don't want to see an 18-year-old. With that said, this guy should not be dating her. We agreed to that. I think
Absolutely,
so.
Yeah.
But she did get in shape.
I mean, what an odd silver lining. But it does constantly.
Yolanda said that we did succeed in assholery.
Yeah, fair enough. I will say that does shine a light. Like, I remember perspective again. I guess the theme of today's episode has been perspective. Perspective. Cling, cling, cling. If when you were in high school, there was always some girl who was the it girl in the school who had like, she's dating a college guy who's like 24 or something, and she's 17. And he would come pick her up in his car, and you would be like, "Oh man, that guy's got to be the coolest motherfucker on earth." Then you become 24, and you're like, "That is a fucking weirdo." You know what I mean? Like,
because you become 24, and you're like, "I don't want to deal." Have you ever talked? We're 40, bro. Yeah. Have you talked to a fucking 18-year-old? I do this at my comedy shows where I talk to girls who are 18, 20 years old, and I'm just like, I ask them 3 questions, and I'm like, I would not like. You're not a bad person. I don't think you're a bad or awful person. I just would not want to have an actual more than a 5-10 minute conversation with you, much less date you. That's where I'm at with it. It's like, all right, again, nothing bad. They're just 18 and 20 and 21. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you have to say.
Yeah, I tend to worry about like judging just based on age.
Oh, I'm not judging just based on age. I'm just saying the girls that I talk to, the women who are on my shows who are 21, 22. I'm like, when they come to me after the show, you were great, you were this, and then we start talking. Oh, where are you from, and blah blah. And I'm just like, I don't. Ugh. It's just a lot of ugh.
Ugh with a side of ugh.
But I just I say that in the context of you were cool and you were nice, and I'm grateful you went to the show. But I try to put myself in a situation where I see oh yeah, she's 22 years. I'm like, I wouldn't want to.
That would happen to me. So if you were a listener to the Unsung Heroes podcast, Zeros on Heroes, I appreciate you. That was such a big part of my life for years, doing that live show in the Creek in the Cave, and it was full of the opportunity for literally anyone to come on stage. It was a random talk show, like an improvised open mic talk show. Like anybody could come on, and we would occasionally get some, these drunk 20-somethings who would come down like fresh into New York, thinking they're living their fucking Sex and the City lives, or whatever. They, all these young people, and I'm not saying just women, young men or whoever that they are genuinely not struggling. You know what I mean? Like those kind of kids, the affluent, privileged people. And they would have a complete, like they would come in and I would invite them up and I would talk to them on a microphone. For me, it was more of like, how do I get a good show out of this? But also it was like the curiosity I had at like, what is so different about us? Like, because I've always been one of those people that if someone doesn't know something, I'm not going to judge you for not having seen Back to the Future. The movie's fucking 35 years old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? But I'd be like, oh, it's great. You should watch it. I'm not going to be one of those people like, you've never seen such and such. But it was also like an interesting thing to hear how stuck up they are about things being old. You know, like why? Oh, that you get you. Oh, was there? And then so I took like joy in showing and like treating them like. Like I'm sorry, and I would like explain some old technology to them like they're fucking idiots,
Like a
and it
payphone.
would be like it's like no, a landline is a thing that everyone used to have in their house, and they because it genuinely they have no frame of reference for all that shit. So how am I supposed to be in a relationship with somebody
when I
who's,
started doing
like, that young?
stand up, I had a bit about when I was a kid calling home collect, and
Yeah.
my mom never answering the collect call because you would never leave. She would never accept the collect call, and then you would never even leave your name at the tone. You would leave the location of where you were. That's what you would
Yes.
leave at the
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you accept the collect call? From I'm at the park. Please, guy, come pick me up. Beep.
Yeah.
And that was a whole. So that was the bit where I wrote that bit year one of me doing stand up. This was 18, 19 years ago.
Yes.
And 3, 4, 5 years later, after writing that bit, it was obsolete.
Yeah.
I had to then start going into this. I had to start explaining what a fucking payphone was, what a collect call was,
Yeah.
what a I had to start explaining that what an answering machine was. Like I'm like, whatever, you get it.
Y'all seen this? Y'all know about this?
Yeah, see this. So, anyways, all right. Yeah, the guy's the asshole. We get it. The guy's the asshole.
Yeah, he's for sure a fucking weirdo.
But he got results. All right. So thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you check out the other podcasts on the Geek Bro Network, including but not limited to Better Let Me Tell You, Chow Like a Best with Mike Valdez, Cramocopia with Jeff and Q, Kickflix with the aforementioned Jeff, Mike, and myself. Kickflix, martial arts movie podcast. So make sure you guys go check that out. Geekbro.net, all the podcasts on the Geek Bro Network. We love you. We appreciate
And if you want to go
Thank you very
hear
much.
old episodes of the time capsule that is Unsung Heroes, go to Zeros on Heroes, zoh.podbean.com.
Or geekbro.net.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
So make sure you guys check that out. Thank you very much. That's how winning is done. Woo!